Okay, spring just started. We're in April. Okay. It surprisingly is still cold. Things get surprisingly still cold in terms of weather. Okay, we can talk about the winds, the very strong winds that are going on right now. Some of you may notice hearing this, but hey, it is the way that it is. But hey, it's still surprisingly cool weather. You're still getting that breeze. And that's surprising because you know what's going to happen next month. Okay? Depending on where you live, the weather outside is going to be so frightful, but no, we're not talking about snow. We're talking about the sun. Because the sun decides to say, it's my time.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Hello and welcome to the Gamer Man's Lounge. I am Lord Gamerman of the Lounge, here with a wonderful, it's a vlog. We'll go with vlog at this point. Yep, hold on. Give me a minute. I gotta get a burp out. Now that's a hell of a burp. Admit it, it's a burp. It's a hell of a burp. Admit it, it's a hell of a burp. Could have been better, though. But no. Now, 2023 decided to be 2023 because this decade decided to be this decade. And of course, there was some shenanigans that were going on throughout the past 3 months. And there was an idea that was tossed in my table that consisted of a power play. A power play that definitely is going to make the best of 2023 for me. And not only that, essentially make things more convenient and more things easygoing, especially for my gaming computer. What I decided to do was did some exploring around. And what ended up happening here was, yes, I found a solution. Though it's going to be a budget-friendly solution, it is basically considered to be me getting an M2 Mac Mini. So yes, here underneath my desk, hidden underneath my desk, is this M2 Mac Mini base model. That is not just the M2 base model, but an M2 Mac Mini base model that is hooked up to a dock in which the dock carries a 1 terabyte solid-state drive, NVMe solid-state drive, that is Team Group brand solid-state drive, inside the dock that is plugged into my Mac Mini. So I can get more storage. However, I have the capture card plugged in because dual PC setup. And, of course, here's where I get to fly on over to the monitor that I'm going to be using. As you can see here, the games monitor, that's right, is outputting the Mac Mini. And look at that fancy, nice-looking Mac OS screensaver. Look at that. Now, hold on. Oh, here we go. That's right, the Mac Mini. That's right. And of course, hey, there's my external SSD. Because it's the base model, here you have 256 gigabytes. Now it's 245.11 gigabytes. However, I did play my card smart, and I'm going to show you the NVMe SSD, if I can fly on over there. And here we go. 1.02 terabytes. And that is the Team Group NVMe SSD that is built into the dock. Or that is plugged into the dock. Which the dock is plugged into the Mac Mini. So yeah, more storage. Not a problem. Yeah, I decided to call it External Team Group SSD. Okay, I'm going to be sitting at the table right now because dinner's done. I got to go get dinner. Got to get me something to eat. So I figured while I'm eating my dinner, I could talk with you about Mac. Now, things that I did notice is Mac is going to be very, in terms of entertainment, well, we're talking about Apple in general. Apple can be very, very strict with what content releases on iOS, and I have no clue about macOS, but I do know for a fact that iOS can be very restricted, alright? Especially if we're going to talk about how content is handled on Action Timenin compared to Android and PC. So, something you do want to keep in mind about that, hey, the PC gamers and the Android gamers too, I think so, had a sneak peek of the iOS version. So, yeah, we get to see firsthand on what happens when Emily Simmons makes her debut on Action Timenin on the iOS version. And yeah, notice that, and it's a noticeable thing that's been going on. You'll see it in the social media advertisements. Yeah, it happens. So this is iOS version shenanigans that's been going down. Something to do with Apple. So yeah, Apple can be very strict on iOS. However, Mac does have an app store. Yes, there is Apple Arcade, but the thing about that here is that Macs, for the idea of gaming, and let's just say they're very distant. Let's just say totally very distant to where everybody just goes to Windows. The thing about here is competition that doesn't screw up. That's another thing. Competition is important, but it's also competition that doesn't screw up. And for some reason, Apple screwed something up, and now everybody's going to Windows because, you know, a lot of games, well, almost every game would come out on Windows exclusively. Unless we're talking about Linux and this wonderful little apps that makes Windows games run on Linux, especially if we're going to talk about Steam Deck and whatnot. And that's the thing. So, Mac OS is going to be very different. However, for entertainment, I don't know about that one, Chief. However, if we're going to talk about productivity or content creation, whether it be video editing and video content, Mac OS is definitely a go-to. Getting a Mac for making content, or even budget editing, or budget content creation, or budget productivity, yeah, I see that. Same thing with iOS. I'm just going to get an iOS device, whether it be an iPhone or an iPad. I'm just going to use the cameras because I heard the cameras are very, very great for content creation. And it's like the same as like a camcorder, if not a little bit better or way better. But I do hear a lot of good things about iPhone cameras. It is pretty crazy. So yeah, if you see me on Mac or iOS, I'm probably going to use it for like productivity and iOS. Entertainment, I'm probably going to go to Windows and Android. That's the thing. So, yeah. Is there going to be some content that's going to luckily make it into the iOS versions of games, especially gacha games? Probably. Probably so. But hey, it is the way that it is. So, yeah. Okay, so out the bat, I gave it like 2 to 3 days, making sure I got the slicey end aimed towards my food, so that way I'm not cutting my finger. Oh, wow. This... Okay, yeah. I'm definitely going to need a new little portable table. So that way, one that stands still at least. But now, you know what? I'm going to get a drink. All meals come with a drink. Tea. Okay, now, right out the bat. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, built-in, but speakers built-in. Okay. But here's where I'm trying to get at. The Mac Mini comes at a catch. Okay. Now, the power plug-in is essentially just a simplistic 2-prong plug-in. So, yeah. You don't have to worry about the 3-prong. It's crazy. So, it seems as if it's power efficient, like really power efficient, and doesn't do too much on power consumption. So, yeah, very interesting to say the least. That might be the case. However, what I do want to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to go ahead and you have to come up with your own keyboard and mouse. You have to come up with your own display. Alright, that's the catch. You have to come up with your own display, your own USB. Now, base model M2s, or let's just say M2 vanillas, are going to give you 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. Alright, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and 2 USB-As. Okay, now, I did look up ahead. If you go Pro, you're going to get more than 2 Thunderbolt 4s. So, that might be interesting. So, yeah. In terms of keyboard, mouse, you're going to have to figure that out. In terms of display, you're going to have to figure that out. So, yeah. And depending on what model you get, something you do want to keep in mind about, the base model is going to give you 8 gigabytes unified memory. That's probably their version of RAM. And if you want to go up in RAM or go up in storage, because the base model gives you 256, okay, I'm going to warn you up ahead. If you want to expand in storage, there are docks that have NVMe or other hard drive plug-in bays, which you can plug in, and you can have like your own little external hard drive. So I ended up getting a Team Group 1 terabyte SSD for the dock. I had to essentially go ahead and get it in a nutshell, get it reformatted for Mac OS. And yeah, just had to get that set up. It is the way that it is. However, 2 USB-As may, let's just say those 2 USB-As are going to be occupied by a wired keyboard and mouse unless you have a wireless keyboard and mouse. So that's another warning up ahead. It does have Bluetooth support. It does have Wi-Fi support. Yeah. If you want to hardwire your internet, it has an Ethernet port. That's pretty much a good thing. So I got that out of the way. Now, keep it on going and moving this subject onto dinner. 2 pork chops, spinach, and mashed potatoes. And I'm going to get some gravy into the pork chops and very good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, I don't do big editing like Michael Bay movie editing, and I do 1080p, especially at 60 frames per second. I capture gameplay footage at 1080p 60, and I edit movies with 1080p 60. Why am I calling them movies? I edit videos in 1080p 60. I don't see myself going up a resolution, so yeah, consider a budget-friendly approach by getting the base model, but you might want to get a dock with an NVMe SSD slot or a hard drive slot where you can plug inside the dock. So something you're going to want to keep in mind about. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep on going. Now for starters, this is the main menu. I have my recording software because I have a capture card. Now because 2 of the USBs are occupied by my keyboard and mouse, I had to get a USB-C to USB-A adapter by Apple to plug in my Elgato HD60X capture card. Things went really smooth sailing, so I'm going to go ahead, open up my... I'm not going to be able to go into rendered video because I need to take care of something real quick. And here's gameplay footage. I did capture console gameplay footage with Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and I did do some... Now I did have sound outputted to my games monitor speakers, so yeah. So I got Dead Space Remake, and that's the point of, well, having a dual PC setup. Your gaming computer stays a gaming computer, while the Mac Mini does the capturing and you do the editing over there. and you don't have to worry about things like durability because, hey, things are going to be more easygoing for your gaming PC. You have one use for your gaming PC, the gaming and entertainment, and the other you're going to use for strict editing and strict capturing. That's going to be the thing. I don't see myself streaming anymore because right now I don't know what's going on, especially with my internet. Well, it's the internet situation, so I haven't tried streaming yet, nor I will be trying stream. I'm just going to try record, and that's going to be the thing. I did play ahead a bit in Dead Space Remake, so yeah, I went further as I can, and then I just went there as further as I can in a small period of time, and then just back out. That's going to be the thing. Okay, so yeah, this is out of context stuff going down. Now, this is QuickTime Player. This is Apple and Macs. And yeah, this is Apple's Windows Movie Maker. Or not Movie Maker. Apple's Movie Player. Or yeah, Apple's Video Player. That's QuickTime. That's their very own video player. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into full screen. If there's a full screen on it. Is there a full screen on it? Oh yeah, there's the full screen. You can full screen. So yes, I'm going to have it up on full screen. I have sound set up where it's outputting, like I said again, to the monitor, my games monitor. How do you even pronounce that company name? Jeez. But yeah. Smooth sailing for the capturing for the Elgato. Alright, and in a nutshell, it's the same thing as I were to use the capture card for my laptop. And yeah, that's the thing. It is the way that it is, so yeah. So, I think we're about good there. I'm going to go ahead and close that video out. And here I go. So yeah, that's me using the dual PC setup. I use OBS for like gameplay recording footage, so you can do recording. You don't have to worry about streaming. You could do recording. That's what I like about OBS. And yeah, it's available on Mac. You could use it for Mac, and that's going to be the thing. Now, what apps are included? Now, yeah, you really do start off, when you start off with your new Mac Mini or your new Mac OS device, this is going to be the taskbar. It's not going to be as big as I got it, but it is just, it's going to be a little bit less big when I started out. So, something you want to keep in mind. Now, included applications, Launchpad, App Store. Mac has its very own App Store. Okay, there's Safari, that's Apple's browser. Mail, okay, emails, contacts, okay, the calendar, reminders, notes, you can take notes. FaceTime, that's its messages, yeah, Messenger. Maps, Find My, Photo Booth. Okay, so you have Photo Booth. Photos. Yeah, Photos. My bad. Preview, music, podcasts, TV. And Apple has its own Apple TV thing. Okay, voice memo. Now, here's the thing. GarageBand, that's its included music maker that comes with. That is included. iMovie is also included. That's their very own movie maker competitor. Keynote is like their competitor to PowerPoint. And Pages is like their competitor to Word. I just found out. Numbers is like their competitor to Excel. You can read the weather. There's news. There's stocks. There's books you can read. There's a dictionary. Okay, cool. It has a dictionary. Freeform, I can't say whiteboard, but it's like a bulletin board thing. There's the clock. There's Siri, system settings, and then there's other stuff. So you have shortcuts, QuickTime Player, text edit, that's probably Notepad, Grapher, Time Machine, Font Book, okay, Mission Control, chess, you can play chess in this thing, stickers, image capture, I guess this is where you can capture images, or something like that. Airport, utility, migration, okay, terminal. Okay, so it has its very own shindig. Okay, system information, automator. Okay, that's interesting. Script editor. Okay, so that's pretty much its... Yeah, it's accessories. Okay, so, yeah. So we'll just go ahead, hit on back. Then we go forward. Okay, I already have OBS installed. Okay, numbers. Interesting. iMovie, GarageBand, Keynote, Pages, and then CapCut, if it's going to stay around for long, considering circumstances. It's a free editing software, so we'll go about that. Figured I have CapCut installed for editing and whatnot. So, 2 things I know about that. Yes, you can control the sound, and sound, I have sound outputted to my monitor, but you can also have sound outputted from the Mac Mini's built-in speakers, so that's surprising. It has Bluetooth support, it has Wi-Fi support. It also has screen mirroring, which I see that happening for like Apple's competitor to Google Cast. If I remember right, it's called AirPlay, something like that. So, yeah, there's that, and also you could do screen mirroring, if I'm right. You can also cast video using QuickTime, because I checked that out. So, yeah. So whatever device that has Apple's AirPlay, if I remember that name right, it is the way that it is. So iMovie, it's going to be iMovie, I know it's very limited, but it's just way better compared to Windows Movie Maker. And it's like, I just like did a lot of digging in about iMovie, jumping in onto it. As a temporary solution till you get yourself an editing software like Final Cut Pro, that's going to run you $300, by the way. That's the thing, that's the problem with Apple. They overprice things. But at least, it's software. I don't know why you do that. But still, $300 for Final Cut Pro. However, included for free, iMovie, that can be your temporary solution. If you know of a cheaper editor like Movavi, I heard a lot of crazy stuff about Movavi. I got YouTuber sponsorship advertisements on Movavi, and then that's kind of what's going on. So, yeah. So, I guess that's pretty much it, if I remember right. Oh, and Apple Care. Now, Apple's warranty stuff, like Apple Care, it's going to run you $100. That may sound like too much. Yeah, it's going to be too much money compared to other warranties. That's the thing. Because I'm pretty sure I remember running into cheaper. I remember running into cheaper warranties for other products. And it's like, yeah, I think we're going to have to get Apple's going to have to get competitive with the pricing. If you don't believe me on the whole Final Cut Pro, oh boy, it goes crazy. I'll tell you what. Okay, I went ahead and played around with iMovie and made 4 things. One of them we can't show because it involves gameplay footage from Honey Select 2, and that's going to be impossible for me to show because reasons, but I did made 3 other things for TikTok, just to upload to TikTok to show. Because, yes, these 3 things were made in iMovie. However, 2 consists of gameplay footage from Action Taimanin. 1 is Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. So with that totally said, you can see the Action Taimanin gameplay, more Action Taimanin gameplay, and, of course, Senran Kagura. Now, one thing that I have with this is that I can't go and flip TikTok horizontally so that horizontal video can be full screen. The tablet versions let you do that, but you can't do it on mobile versions. See? You can't do that. Look at this. Can't. You can do it on the tablet versions, but you won't be able to do it here. Like, what's going on? Like, come on. However, if you're starting out, and of course you're having a hard time trying to find a video editing software that you're trying to put together, hey, thanks iMovie for making me say movie. Go fish. But anyway, iMovie will be your temporary solution, your go-to temporary solution, because, yeah, it might be limited, but we did manage to know about those tutorials from left and right, and of course there's been some praises from left and right. I did read up on user impressions. I did go ahead and check things around. There's like iMovie tutorials and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's surprisingly, it's a surprise to see iMovie do a whole lot more compared to Windows Movie Maker. Am I making you feel old by talking about Windows Movie Maker? Go fish. But hey, that's all, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out. This is a video product made by a fellow gamer man. We hope that you enjoy the content, and we also hope that you enjoyed the shenanigans. We'll be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out. Heyo!